I'm curious, what should I be thinking? What's the day of a graphic designer like?
Oh, I'm still so now I'm just doing an internship
Hmm.
at Penguin. So
No biggie, just slide that in there.
uh I
Little
I, I
shop.
was like I got this opportunity of like from university. So uh yeah, I'm here with Penguins this month now. Uh so yeah, just so here because they publish books, we're basically working on book covers. Uh, so we just get a lot of briefs, and each member of a team is designing different covers, and
Hmm.
then they discuss it after. So it's basically a dream job because you just do a lot of art. Uh, all you need to fight for is of it and explain why you did something.
Yeah, I'm curious
Why
about the
did you
pitching
choose
process.
particular colors and stuff? But uh, you'll usually get a brief and they ask you for particular emotion or approach. Sometimes they want the book cover to be more friendly, sometimes more sophisticated, minimal, or very illustrative. So it depends on the brief. And then you kind of follow those guidelines and try to come up with some ideas. You show them and people discuss it, and then you just choose the best one
So you've
and you
got
work on that.
so you say you get a brief for the style of it and you get a brief for the content. It's like the emotional content or what kind of they want to take away from it.
Yeah, so you got like you kind of have to imagine a book cover as a product, and so they want to sell it, but they sell it for a particular audience.
Mm.
So that's why you have to design it thinking about that audience, who is going to read it, who is going to be interested in it. Uh, and by that, you're shaping your design.
Yeah, so it's like how can I communicate to this specific audience how cool this book would be for them, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So, uh, yeah, you just have to think about people who are going to read it. So it doesn't, I have to communicate the message.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
we'll see the cover first anyway. So
They always
it
say
has
don't
to
judge a book by
our
its
attention.
cover.
But they see it first.
But it still counts, eh?
Yep.
Interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit jealous because so growing up, there was a county library for kids in my hometown, and I learned how to read from my mom. And then I spent a shit ton of time in that library. I just went through like anything and everything I could get my hands on. So I've got that, the classic of like, oh, what is this book? And you look at it and you try to understand, oh, it's so big. And then
Yeah.
you look around, you look at the pictures, you look at the back, who wrote it, what did they say about it? And then you finally open it, you're like, okay.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I'm addicted to books myself. I don't have enough time to read them, but I just keep buying them, which is a bit of a problem because I don't have a lot of storage space.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, it's if you're traveling, that's a pain.
Yeah,
Right,
but
I gotta ask, now it's a natural question, but like, so what is your favorite book cover? What's the book cover that you're like, that is the pinnacle, the peak of book cover design?
mm, I'm not sure if I have a favorite book
I don't know
cover.
what, but like, something to stand
Uh,
out.
I guess I quite liked Good Pop, Bad Pop uh, by Jarvis Cocker. That cover it kind of has an outer cover which is cut out and it's just very nice colored. It's very simple, but the whole book is quite nice because it has some interesting designs inside of it.
Mm.
So that's something that I read recently and liked
Fair
how
enough.
it
I mean, I
looked.
need to look it up now. I'm curious. And what's the most annoying request you've had for a design so far? Like, I'm curious about the process. Listen, I know customers can be crazy in every field, so there has to be some crazy design requests. There has to be.
Yeah, well, I guess I didn't have so many commissions yet,
Mm-hmm.
but well, I guess the hardest thing is when a client has a very, they say that they don't really have a vision,
Mm-hmm.
but you start working on something and then it appears that they have a very, very specific vision of, like, if you imagine a title, they know what size it has to be and where it has to be put and like percentages.
So they don't know
Uh,
what they want, but they know
but
exactly
they
what they
know.
don't want.
So, and then you're trying to figure out wh- what do they imagine, and it's quite hard because I had some projects where I had the total freedom to do things.
Right.
Oh, it's much easier because obviously you give a client different options, uh, and you work on different ideas, but you're sort of communicating there and trying to achieve the best solution together. While, you know, if someone wants you just to draw stuff, it's a bit hard because still you don't see how that other person is imagining what they
Of
want.
course. Of course. And how much, when it comes to something like design, I mean, a lot of it is subjective, but there's also certain objective guidelines you could say. I mean, it's a bit of a blur there. Like, how can you say, like, oh, this color makes me feel this way, and we can say for most people, I don't know, color blue might be a colder color, and the red is more passionate. Like, these are like the classic, you know, stuff that we know. But
Yeah,
like,
there's
how do you navigate that?
uh so there is that color psychology, but
Hmm.
I guess maybe it also depends on what you're doing. So it's quite relevant if you're doing visual identity or branding for a product or a company. So you kind of want to the colors to make certain associations for the people who see that stuff. Uh, if you're doing a poster or album cover, then I guess it's a bit more free.
Right.
Uh, yeah, oh, I don't know. I guess I usually try to, if I start working on a specific design, I try to go like 3, 4 different possible ways,
Right.
which are quite different from each other, so I can see what works and what doesn't. So it's quite planned, but also you just try to experiment.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, this is all brand new stuff for me because as I said, my visual art side is not that developed. I can, I dabble in movies and stuff like that, but when it comes to actually drawing, I am shite. Like, if I spend enough time, I could probably develop it, but I just, I focus, I put my skills in a different skill tree. Okay, that's all I'm saying.